Friday, December 14th edition of the Carolina Weather Video. I'm meteorologist Matthew East here with you. Cold Friday morning weather unfolding, and the mountains are pretty chilly as you might expect this morning. There's a rundown of the 5 a.m. mountain temperatures, and you see some 20s and 30s on the board. And some of the spots pretty chilly. It's 22 at the Davidson River site, 21 in Busick and the Avery County site, 20 in West Jefferson. And actually, this is one of those mornings that you have some Piedmont and foothill spots that are colder than the mountains. I'll run that down here in just a moment. There's your radar. All is very, very quiet out there across our region this morning. And not only just in our immediate region, most of the eastern part of the United States, very quiet, with the big sprawling area of high pressure centered right overhead here. There's your temperatures across the region, 27 in Greensboro, 30 in Charlotte. You have some areas that have made it down into the upper teens in some of the normally colder spots, especially up around the Virginia border. So it's a cold morning out there. The wind is calm. If not calm, it's very light. It's been a really good night for radiational cooling, and that's allowed us to get down to these cold morning temperatures. Now notice the milder air building again in the southern plains. Dallas is at 54. And we're going to have a bit of a warming trend here over the next few days. Nothing overly warm, but I do think some highs at the 60s working back our way by later in the weekend and into Monday as well. Yesterday we had low and mid 50s out there for highs. We tack on, I don't know, probably 5 to 8 degrees for most of our high temperatures this afternoon. Clear sky. And that will be the case all day long. Like I mentioned, that big sprawling area of high pressure directly overhead, that will give us an extremely quiet weather day. But later on tonight, clouds begin to stream in. That's in advance of our next cold front. And it's kind of a complex setup as we go through the Sunday and Monday time frame. So let me all right, here, on to the modeling. And let's kind of get into what's going to happen over the next week or so, and then some longer range thoughts toward Christmas. This is the upper air chart off the European for today. Now let's head on out into the weekend. This is Sunday. Notice some various pieces of energy flying off to our north. A more powerful one on the European approach is Monday. I'll show you what that results in just a minute. And then you notice as we get out to midweek, the midweek system, that Tuesday and Wednesday system we've been talking about, and I cautioned you about this a few days ago, that it could essentially vanish or change greatly because you're dealing with all these various pieces of upper level energy. And I will say the GFS really was the first one to kind of sniff out this scenario, but the upper level low really forms more toward the northeastern part of the country compared to that scenario where it had it here across the southeast. So the result is a much kind of different deal for us than what some of the earlier modeling indicated. I'll show you that here in just a second. Now further out into the longer range, this is toward the tail end of next week. A pretty potent disturbance drives a cold front through here Thursday or Friday of next week, and then the stage is set for some interesting possibilities thereafter. All right, let me show you day by day. Here we are today, big high pressure right overhead. This is the GFS model, by the way. Sunshine, highs upper 50s, a few low 60s. Now here we go into the weekend. Tomorrow we'll have some clouds, but we'll be dry. Then as we get into Sunday, the chances for showers will be with us. So Sunday looks like a day that's basically cloudy with that chance of showers at times. All right, now as we get on into Monday, that's what the GFS looks like, but a different type of look on the European model for Monday due to that second little piece of upper level energy rolling our way. And the NAM looks like it's going to be in agreement with this general idea as well. So I am kind of leaning in the direction of that more rainy type of scenario at times for our Monday as well. Okay, flipping back over to the GFS, we go out to Tuesday. And you notice, again, there's your low pressure way offshore. And so instead of a cloudy day with precip rolling through the region, we get just kind of a relatively cool, probably breezy type of day with no precip here anywhere to be found over the western or central Carolinas. And that's probably the more likely scenario, as it looks like the modeling is kind of converging on that idea of that low pressure being much less of a factor for the Carolinas. All right, further out, there's the GFS for Wednesday of next week. And we kind of just are between cold fronts now for the middle portions of next week. And then finally that front will approach around Thursday. That's what it looks like on the GFS model. And then you get out behind that front. This is the setup as you get into Sunday evening, the 23rd. And that's, again, on the GFS, some very, very cold air over parts of eastern North America. And you have this low pressure beginning to take shape over Texas. All right, let's check the European model at the same time. Same general idea, although the wave is quicker. That low pressure is near the Gulf Coast. So that's going to be a little wave to keep an eye on, somewhere in the ballpark of the 23rd or the 24th. We'll see if anything can avoid getting squashed by the northern branch during that time frame. But then, again, I caution you, this is for entertainment purposes only here. But let me go out to the longer range of the 0Z GFS. All right, there's Christmas Eve, very chilly on the GFS. And all right, so here we go. We go on out to the day after Christmas, on the evening of the 26th. There's one little area of low pressure moving through that's kind of developing off the Georgia and the Carolina coast. And then check this out. You go out to Thursday evening, heading into Friday. These are the Thursday and the Friday following Christmas. And again, this is for entertainment purposes only, but you have a nice low pressure right there. Very well-defined cold air damming signature awaiting it. And then that system will strengthen as it lifts off the outer banks. And so that is a big-time winter storm for a good chunk of the region. But again, that is way, way out there toward the end of the GFS. I would not bank on that scenario unfolding whatsoever. But what I will say is that the pattern does look kind of interesting as we get toward the last 10 days of the month. We'll see what holds. There's going to be some cold air around, and we'll see if we can get that storm track active and just kind of see what happens. All right, that is it for today's edition of the video. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend, and God bless.